What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to That's a Shoot. This is my weekly show where I talk about the goings on in the world of wrestling. Usually, I would put over three great things, and I would bury three bad things, and then I would go into a main topic. However, because I'm still pretty much still recovering from my surgery, my voice is a little bit better, a little bit almost back to normal. You may hear some cracks here and there, and combine that with the fact that we've got Wrestlemania right around the corner and Nxt Takeover. So today is pretty much just going to be the prediction show for NXT Takeover and for Wrestlemania. However, I do excuse me, I do want to talk about two things before we get started. One thing is the John Oliver um, thing that happened this past weekend. I saw it. I thought it was funny, and I think he made some great points. Some people were upset that he was he called Roman Reigns a pedophile, but that's again I think he was he's taking he's being a comedian. So, however, I think one of the big things I think is that when he talked about what he wanted the fans to do at WrestleMania, and I found this to be stupid. I found this to be really stupid because this is WrestleMania, right? This is NXT Takeover. The fans are coming there to enjoy. They're not coming there to make a political statement, and that's what this is really kind of is. This is this is kind of like a political statement that that you want better for the wrestlers that you watch. This is a political statement. I think you know what you should want and what you always should want is that you should want the WWE to be better. You should want the WWE to be better at stuff that they do. So and to treat them better, and and something like that. And yes, and maybe they shouldn't be independent contractors. Maybe they should be employees and everything else that goes on. They should be healthcare and things like that. But don't, yeah, don't. This is WrestleMania is not the time to make a political statement. I really do. It's not the time to make a political statement. You know, it just isn't. So I think you find other ways to make that statement. And when it's right. WrestleMania is not the time. And secondly, um, just a lot of interesting things. I wanted to really quickly again remind people that tomorrow is NXT Takeover, and I'm going to give you my predictions in just a minute. But there will be no rapid reaction for NXT Takeover in New York. It will be Monday morning, more than likely. A review of it will be Monday morning, and it's going to be a special edition of That's a Shoot. And so make sure you are here for that. Click that notification bell, and if you already haven't, make sure you subscribe. But with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get started with the predictions. We're going to get started with the aforementioned NXT Takeover New York happening tonight from New York City. It's actually going to be in Brooklyn, and as the WrestleMania is going to be from MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. But this is going to be in Brooklyn, and we got 5 championship matches. The first one is the UK Championship match, Pete Dunne versus Walter, or Walter, however you want to call it. I'm not seeing Walter wrestle. It's gonna be, I think, gonna be interesting to see him wrestle, see how he goes about it. I think it's gonna be very fun. Um, He's just gonna be a tremendous match. This could pretty much steal the show. Pete Dunne has been the United Kingdom champion for over 2 years. Over 2 years, almost 3 years, he's been the United Kingdom champion. My guess would be is that this is going to be, and you also don't want to, you also don't want to pin, you also don't want to make like this big beast that they have, you know, get beat like from the first time. So I would think that you have Walter winning the UK Championship. The NXT Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the War Raiders will take on Aleister Black and Ricochet. Now, Aleister Black and Ricochet are the winners of the Dusty Tag Team Tournament, so they're going to get the opportunity to take on the War Raiders. But with Aleister Black and Ricochet being on the main roster, they have a tag match on Wrestlemania. I kind of feel like this is pretty much going to be a obvious victory for the War Raiders. That being said, I could very well see this being a fantastic match as well. So my prediction is going to be the War Raiders. The NXT North American Championship will be on the line as the Velveteen Dream takes on Matt Riddle. Now, I gotta be honest. I don't get the whole Matt Riddle thing. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it as a character. You know, I guess he's an okay wrestler. He had a pretty okay match with Cassius Ohno a few takeovers ago. Um, haven't seen too much of him, so we'll see. Like I said, I wanted to give him a chance without question. I think without question, I wanted to give him a chance. But I just don't get the original bro and everything like that, and bro and all that stuff. I don't see it, so I really don't. I guess you have to be a stoner to get him. I'm not a stoner. Um, but listen, you pretty much kind of just put the championship on Velveteen Dream. I would doubt that you would take it off of him so quickly. Um, so I'm actually I'm actually going to take something here because I'm actually going to take the view of the guys from Wrestle. Um, One of the guys on Lori Blake, he said that there's a possibility that that something could happen where maybe someone interferes and Matt Riddle would get the win by DQ or something like that. So maybe that was going to might happen. So I'm thinking maybe a Keith Lee heel turn or something like that will happen, and we'll see Matt Riddle win by DQ, but still champion Velveteen Dream. The NXT Women's Championship is on the line. Shayna Baszler takes on Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, and Bianca Belair. Now this one, it's. I think this one could be really, really good. We've got four pretty good workers in there in this match. I don't think Sam will be saying anything controversial before the beginning of the match. This pretty much seems like the right time for Bianca Belair because I could very well see Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, and Io Shirai all get called up to the main roster come after WrestleMania. Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are the Sky Pirates. They're a tag team. It'll be um, another tag team for Sasha and Bailey to fight, and then also Shayna Baszler and her girls of Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, the other horsewomen. Um, I think they all of them could still be called up and they can be a part of this Ronda Rousey stuff that could be happening. So I won't be shocked if it's anybody, if it's Io Shirai, if it's Kairi Sane. I don't think Baszler is retaining, but my pick is going to be Bianca Belair. And the NXT Championship will be on the line as Johnny Gargano takes on Adam Cole, baby, for the vacant NXT title in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Obviously, Tommaso Ciampa had a neck injury, so he had to vacate Goldie, and we got Gargano versus Adam Cole. You know, I gotta be honest here. I mean, this could go so many ways. Either way, because Johnny Gargano could be, this is what he's been waiting for. He's been waiting for a shot at the NXT Championship. He's been waiting to get his opportunity to win that. And this is what a lot of people would like for him to have. The opportunity to win the NXT Championship. Because let's face it, if he goes to the main roster, he's not going to be the WWE Championship or the Universal Champion. He just isn't. There's already been rumors that if he gets called up, it's not going to be it's not going to be to the main roster. It's going to be 205 Live. So, I think there are so many ways to go here, and I gotta be honest. Like this out of all the predictions I'm gonna make on this one is the one where I'm like, no, I'm the most unsure of it all because it could go either way. I'm going to pick, however, Adam Cole. Just because I think that maybe Undisputed Era is probably, and maybe this is just me, but Undisputed Era is probably not maybe they're not ready to be called up just yet. I think maybe you have to still think with a couple more takeovers to happen in a few months. So I would say maybe, because I talked about this before. I talked about maybe Adam Cole, right? So, and you can have Adam Cole as your heel NXT Championship, and he could be the one that Velveteen Dream takes the title off of at SummerSlam or at Takeover War Games. So I think there are so many ways to do it. And wouldn't it be cool to see maybe, the Undisputed Era appear on Survivor Series with a match against somebody? I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm going to say, reluctantly, I'm going to say Adam Cole. Baby. And now we'll go to the WrestleMania predictions. Let's start with the kickoff show matches. We got the Women's Battle Royal. I think this is pretty much a given, right? You're going to give this one to Asuka. They took the SmackDown title from her so quickly to WrestleMania. So they're probably going to give this to her as a reward for letting that happen. So I would think it's probably Asuka. So that's what I would do with that. The Giant Memorial Battle Royal. God. If they give it to the guys from SNL, to one of the guys from SNL, if they give it to Cullen Jost, it's going to kill the crowd before the crowd even gets killed. So, but this should be Braun Strowman. It just should be. It could be Apollo Crews, because there was, they try to make Apollo Crews look like a kind of a big thing. But I would say this is without doubt Braun Strowman. This should be Braun Strowman. And then the Cruiserweight Championship match, Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. To me, Buddy Murphy has held the title since Super Showdown. He's been a fantastic Cruiserweight champion, but it's probably now time to move on to bigger and better things for Buddy Murphy. I think he maybe should move to maybe a SmackDown or Raw. And I'm going to say that we're going to get Tony Nese as the new Cruiserweight champion. And on to the main show. I believe I have all of the matches that they keep changing and adding matches. So we'll start with the one that was just made this past Tuesday. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships is on the line when the Usos took on Ricochet and Aleister Black, The Bar, and Rusev and Nakamura. I think the way they've been doing it, I think this is pretty much the way they're gonna go. I would be very interested. I would be very surprised if Ricochet and Aleister Black don't get the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I mean, it's just the way that it seems like they're going here. So while they did not win the NXT Tag Team Championship, I believe they will win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I don't think the Bar is gonna get it again, and Rusev and Nakamura don't make any sense. However, you never know with WWE, right? So, but my prediction: Ricochet and Aleister Black. Well, in a match that has been heavily speculated to be changing, Kurt Angle in his farewell match will take on Baron Corbin. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what would be, you know, going on, if they have any like plans or anything like that. But I'm going to predict it the way as is. And I actually think that they could very well give Kurt Angle the send off that a lot of people do need. There has been a tradition in professional wrestling that as you move on, whether you are retiring or as you are leaving the company, that you put over a person. You put over a person. Usually, it's a younger person that you put over. As we know, Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. They did it with more established stars. Ric Flair with Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels with The Undertaker. Um, the Undertaker was supposed to do it with Roman Reigns, but he came back. But yeah. So as you retire, you put over the person. But so it would make sense for Kurt Angle to put over Baron Corbin, and have him win, and probably that would probably push Baron Corbin to bigger and better things, and maybe even a push for the Universal Championship of the WWE title. But I could very well see Kurt Angle winning this match, and having Kurt Angle leaving out because I do think that there are times that maybe if the kind of person that you are, you should maybe leave on like this. You know, you should leave on the victory. So I'm going to say that nothing happens. Baron Corbin doesn't get beat up or anything like that. The match doesn't change, and it's a Kurt Angle victory over Baron Corbin. In a Falls Count Anywhere match, we've got The Miz going one-on-one with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon. Hopefully, this will be the end of Shane. How do I say this? I don't want to say the end. Shane McMahon. That sounds as if he's passing away. But what I would like to see is this be, maybe something where Shane gets his upcomings and he doesn't appear anymore. No, we don't need if they're not going to be any more authority figures, then we don't need to have Shane McMahon on the show. We definitely don't need him to be heel, and we definitely don't need him to be on the show. So, um, I think obviously the Miz goes over here. I think if Shane McMahon to go over here would be one of the stupidest things to ever happen. This has got to be the Miz. I've liked the way they've tried to set up Miz because listen, the Miz does not look like someone that you would think that would, and he hasn't been someone that you would think that could whoop somebody's, that could fight, and like you said, the last couple of weeks on SmackDown when he took out, the security guards and took out Sanity and everything like that, and then this past Tuesday when he took out Sanity by himself, you know, and I understand what they're doing, the fact that Shane McMahon by putting his hands on his father has has unleashed a type of fighter in Miz that nobody's ever seen before. And while I think that is, a good story to tell, I don't know if it's necessarily, something that works, you know. So, I would, see this as this would be if it was Ricochet. I would actually say, okay, it works better with Ricochet than it does with the Miz, but or someone like that. But I've loved the fact with the gun with the Miz. I love the fact that they've got him over as a baby face. Then I want him to continue this momentum and move on and go on to bigger and better things. Maybe end up being one of the top baby faces in the company. So uh, I'm gonna say I'm predicting the Miz, and this really should be the Miz. There should be no way Shane wins this. I don't care. It should be the Miz. All in all. The women's tag team championship will be on the line as Sasha Banks and Bayley, the champions, take on Beth Phoenix and Natalya, Nia Jax and Tamina, and the Iconics. Um, Listen, I could totally see them putting the titles on the Iconics. I could also see maybe them doing a kind of a nostalgia act and maybe putting it on Beth Phoenix and Natalya for a night or two, and then have Beth Phoenix and Natalya like drop it back to Sasha Banks and Bayley on SmackDown or on Raw or something like that, or drop it to the Iconics or something like that. But I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks and Bayley. I think in that as you saw like in my video for my fantasy book, and I really would like to see Sasha Banks and Bayley. I would like to see them continue on and have this go and have this title run of theirs go into a thing, go into a thing where at some point it ends up where they end up fighting because of this. The friendship ends because of this. So that's what I would like to see this go. So I am predicting Sasha Banks and Bayley. So Rey Mysterio hurt his foot in the match with Baron Corbin on Monday Night Raw. So there's a possibility that this may not go down as as it's supposed to, and it may not happen at all. However, I'm going to anyway go and make a prediction for the United States Championship match between Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio. I think because of this, I would have said Rey Mysterio would win, but if it does happen, I do think they're just going to keep the title on Samoa Joe for right now. So I'm going to say Samoa Joe, and hopefully Mysterio is okay. To be honest with you, if this match didn't happen, I would be I wouldn't be sad. It would be sucked that once again Samoa Joe doesn't get his opportunity to wrestle on the grandest stage of them all. But And who knows? Maybe what you could do is that if Rey Mysterio can't do it, maybe you just do you do in the U.S. Open Championship. He wanted his and then you could do something where you could bring up somebody. So maybe if Johnny Gargano loses, maybe you can bring up Johnny Gargano and have him wrestle Samoa Joe. Or how about John Cena? Or how about R-Truth? What's up? But I'm going to say that as this stands right now, Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio is the match. My prediction will be Samoa Joe. The Intercontinental Championship will be on the line as Bobby Lashley takes on the Demon, Finn Balor. This is gonna be really good to see the champion Finn Balor, the Demon, appear at Wrestlemania, and I doubt that they're saving the Demon loss for I think someone big, and as much as Bobby Lashley, that would be interesting to see Bobby Lashley. It would make Bobby Lashley be a badass. I almost think that there's a possibility this could be along the lines of the Finn Balor Baron Corbin match, where it was some sling blade, a shotgun drop kick, the coup de grace, and then the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor. So that's my prediction, Finn Balor. In a no holds barred match, Triple H versus Batista. If Triple H loses, he is no longer allowed to wrestle. And I think, and we know this is going to be Batista's last match. So I kind of think this is pretty much Batista, right? I mean, they did this a few years ago with Brock Lesnar, and you all thought like I talked about this a few seconds ago with Kurt Angle, right? With you put over the younger person. You thought Triple H was going to put, although maybe Triple H and Brock Lesnar might be. Actually, they probably not. They probably aren't. Yeah, Triple H is probably in his mid-40s. Brock Lesnar is probably in his late 30s. Yeah, so it would have been him putting over the younger person. But you have this where this is honestly Batista's last match. Triple H should not be wrestling anymore. He needs to just focus on the behind the scenes part of this job, and I think this is, now what they could do is they also could have Triple H beat Batista, and then have Triple H maybe on Raw finally end it. Maybe they do something where Batista beats Triple H up so bad that he realizes that he can't go out and do this anymore, so he needs to be behind the scenes. But I think this is without question. This is Batista. My prediction is Batista. I will not be surprised if it's Triple H though. In the match that I think could steal the show, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. This one is gotten really personal over the last couple of weeks, with some veiled shots, bringing up some failed drug tests, talking about the stuff in the Indies, the TNA stuff, all of these things. This has been really, really good. I really do think this could steal the show. We know that Randy Orton has it in them, and AJ Styles could, have anything. I'm not only am I going to predict this match, I'm going to make two predictions here. I'm going to predict that AJ Styles gets the victory. Not only does AJ Styles get the victory, but I'm going to predict that this is going to be a 5-star classic. The match that happens after this, I would say this. Yeah, and how I just talked about how I could see, if they're going to have Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor the Demon be like kind of a squash match, I would say put it after this match then, because this is, they have that be the palate cleanser for this, because I think this is going to be a 5-star match, and I'm predicting AJ Styles comes out with the victory. Roman Reigns takes on Drew McIntyre in a match that is getting a little personal. Drew McIntyre bringing up the leukemia in Roman's family. Roman's first big match coming back from leukemia. To me, the WWE, unfortunately, Roman Reigns had to once again acquire leukemia for this to happen. But the WWE, they got their second chance with Roman Reigns, and if they still have faith, if they still think that Roman Reigns is going to be the big dog and the number one guy in this company, this is the time to rebuild them. And I think this is a good spot. But yeah, let me go out with Drew McIntyre, have a fantastic match, but he doesn't need to win. No, he doesn't need to win. Yeah, they've made Drew this super killer. Let's continue that. Drew McIntyre should win. I am predicting that he wins, but this is going to be a fantastic. This should be a fantastic fight between the two guys, and I think both guys are talented enough, and hopefully that's what it comes off of. But this, you know, you know, this should be this should be about rebuilding Roman Reigns. This should not be about giving Roman Reigns an opponent for him to beat at WrestleMania. Let's rebuild Roman. Let's make Roman into the guy. Why you still can? And I was actually kind of shocked because on Monday Night Raw, it did seem to be maybe some boos from the Washington D.C. crowd when Roman came on screen. So and this is going to be New York, so we'll see. You know, I'm hoping that the crowd just doesn't go back and say, "Well, he's back now. We can now boo him." No, 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 no. Let's let's. They're trying to. I truly think that they are trying to maybe give this a second chance, give this a second go with Roman. So let's do this. But that being said, Drew McIntyre should win, and I'm predicting Drew McIntyre to be the winner. The WWE Championship match: Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. They've done a lot of stuff to get here, but it's here. I just I think this has to be Kofi Kingston. I really do. I think this has to be Kofi Kingston. I think if Kofi was to lose here, you could never get that back. You can never get that momentum back for Kofi. And so you take it while it is right now, right? Because there are some people who you could say if this is someone else, okay, he could win, he could lose here, but he could gain momentum back. I don't know if that would happen for Kofi, because after Kofi losing, you know, you know, at Elimination Chamber, after him losing like on Monday Night Raw, for him to lose once again to Daniel Bryan, I think it would really be, you couldn't get that momentum back for Kofi. You could not get that momentum back, and so unless this is Kofi Kingston himself just saying, hey, listen, I'm just happy that I've had this opportunity. I'm happy doing this stuff with the New Day. You keep the title on Bryan. Unless that's him saying it, it doesn't make sense for Bryan to win here. It has to be Kofi Kingston, I think, and I'm predicting Kofi Kingston to win. He will not be the first Black WWE champion. That's The Rock, but he will be another. He would be definitely someone that people would enjoy watching and seeing as WWE champion. So I'm predicting Kofi King. The Universal Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. You know, I saw something this past Raw, something that I hadn't seen before. Um, Seth Rollins left Brock Lesnar laying in the middle of the ring. Something that, to my knowledge, to my recollection, something that Roman Reigns never did. Roman Reigns never left Brock Lesnar laying, but Seth Rollins did. So I do think that this is probably a big time match. I think this is probably Seth Rollins' time, and I do think that this is they're gonna put the title on Seth Rollins, and I don't know what kind of match it would be. I don't know if this is gonna be something where this is just formulaic, where there's a lot of suplexes and F5s, and Seth has to kick out. I would not be shocked if Brock Lesnar keeps the title. At some point, I would just say, if that does happen, at some point, it's almost like, okay, Brock, that's your title. You go and you take that and you move on. We're just going to have the WWE Championship and not talk about the Universal title anymore. But I'm predicting it's going to be Seth Rollins. And how about this historical main event? This was the Raw Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey, versus the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, versus Becky Lynch, in a winner-take-all match. And I gotta say, this could go any way. I can see all three women winning this match and leaving WrestleMania as the champion. And I'm also a believer in this theory that we just ain't gonna get all what we want, right? Because we want Kofi Kingston to win the WWE Championship. We want Seth Rollins to win the Universal Championship, and some of us want Becky Lynch to win both the championship, right? And are you really just gonna have all of that happen in one night, WrestleMania 35? I could see it happening, but I think more than likely something's going to go down. And in my predictions, I have predicted Kofi Kingston to win the WWE Championship and win Seth Rollins to win the Universal Championship. So I just don't think Becky Lynch is going to win it. I don't. So now that leaves, so what happens now? Is it Ronda Rousey or is it Charlotte Flair? And there's still rumors that is Ronda Rousey really going to leave WWE afterwards? And I just don't know. I mean, she's now after her heel turn, she's just become so good, and she's become the person that I think a lot of us really wanted her to be, right? That at this point it would really be awful to see her leave. And listen, I understand why she wants to. She wants to have her family. She wants to have kids. And I totally understand that. And I totally understand that she's in a high risk business. So her pregnancies are going to be high risk. And and she's a little bit older, so that means pregnancies are high risk as well. I would really just want her to delay it one more year. Just one more year. And there's so much stuff, because if they do call up the other horsewomen, and if they do call up the other horsewomen, and it would be so good. And then we can have the horsewoman versus horsewoman match at a Survivor Series, and we could have everything, and we could go down the line, and then we can next year actually have the main event we supposed to have this year. We could have Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. Um, I just that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and say that the winner is going to be Charlotte Flair. If she will win, she will somehow beat Becky Lynch. She will end up with both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, and people will be kicking and screaming all over the world. And not me, but I think some people will. And I think that I think well, she will probably beat Becky Lynch somehow. Um, Maybe beat her into unconsciousness with the kendo stick, and she will win. But personally, I would like to see it be Ronda. I just want Ronda win it, and then, like I said, maybe even have her get help from the horsewomen, and that's how she wins it. But I just don't know. So I'm going to take it on the easy side, and I'm going to say that Charlotte Flair wins. All right, and that was my NXT Takeover and WWE WrestleMania 35 predictions. Once again, make sure that you are subscribed and click the notification bell. I will be going live after WrestleMania with a rapid reaction, so you're not going to want to miss it. Also, because I have prior engagement, you'll find out more about that next week. I am going to have the NXT Takeover review probably up Monday morning. So make sure you are here for that as well. Next week, I think next week, maybe in lieu of That's a Shoot, That's a Shoot may be around. But maybe what happened next week, next Friday, is you'll get the WrestleMania reactions. I will be having the reactions on me. I have the camera reactions to what's going on throughout the night of WrestleMania 35. So you'll get my WrestleMania 35 reactions video next Friday. And a whole bunch of more stuff coming your way. Like I said, I've been recovering from the neck surgery. I'm getting better. So next week, I hope to try to get back into the thing of things, doing videos, reactions, and all that other good stuff. All for you. So I hope you are here with me as I get back into the things of things, as I try to get back to normal. How about I say it like that? Try to get back to normal. So post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Give me your predictions. Give me your thoughts about what's gonna go down on the NXT Takeover and or WrestleMania 35. What do you think of my predictions? Do you think maybe I'm not right in some places? Hey, we all have opinions. Give me yours down in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there, and I am out.